Welcome everybody to another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, your host, Andrew O'Hara, here with my co-host and voice of the Home Kitties. It is Steven Robles. How you doing, man?
Doing well. I'm trying out these new headphones. I usually have my AirPods Max, but I don't know. I'm trying out...
I didn't even notice.
I'm not noticing, Andrew. But, yeah.
Well, to be fair, I have to look at the camera when we're talking instead of at my monitor. So I can't just stare at your headphones while you record, Steven.
No, wait a minute.
Trying to include our audience since we are on camera now.
Now, this changes everything. So are you saying you don't see me while we're recording, like, at all?
Like out of the corner of my eye.
Like,
side eye you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll do a bunch of like weird, funny sign things, and you'll never know during recording until afterwards. That'll be fun.
Until I go to like edit the video or something, and you're over there just flipping me the bird 10 times.
No. I won't do that. No. All right.
Sure, Steven.
Well,
sure.
We have a ton of actual news this week for HomeKit stuff, so we'll jump into it. Now, this first item I'm not prepared for because you put Logitech in our note here, and then what is going on? That is all I see for notes.
We didn't even need to like lead the show with this, but I guess it was like our first like news item, and I don't have any additional information, and I hoped to have additional information, but we've had this like ongoing saga with Logitech and the video doorbell, right? Where people were reporting overheating issues and stuff like that. Well, randomly we got a tip that it is no longer listed on Apple's website as a HomeKit certified device. It's not listed on their doorbells. Like, it was removed from that section. But equally confusing is Apple continues to sell it. It is still available to buy, still has the, exclusively HomeKit badging on it and all that stuff. So a little weird. Like, we don't really know what's going on. And I did reach out to Logitech for comment, and they said they're investigating and they're going to get back to me. So I still don't have an answer yet on kind of what's going on, but just something that we're kind of tracking down to see what's going on here. But yeah, it was removed from Apple's site under their list of HomeKit compatible products, even though it's still for sale.
Yeah, because I just searched Apple's online store, and it is there. $200, you can still get it. Now, this seems to be, I could be wrong, is this the only HomeKit doorbell camera that they sell directly? Like, I don't see...
Yes,
I think
so.
The Netatmo doorbell, right? Netatmo...
Yeah, but that's only HomeKit, not HomeKit Secure Video, and I don't think it's sold through Apple. Then there's the Robin Pro line and the Robin Pro line like intense. Compact. The Compact is a little cheaper, but still a bit, I don't know what you want to call it, like industrial looking. But yeah, those are the only real two that are those are like the only two that support HomeKit Secure Video right now, as far as I remember.
Gotcha. Okay, so. I don't know. Do we need to pause on like recommend? Because someone actually just asked me the other day, want to get a video doorbell? What should I get? They were leaning towards the Nest, and I was like, or the Ring, and I was like, Ring. They're in the Apple universe, and so I was like, just get the Logitech HomeKit Secure Video Doorbell. You won't have to pay monthly or whatever. It's great. What do you think?
This is like a really hard question to ask anymore. Nest isn't bad. Right. And I only say that now because we have the option of the Starlink hub, which brings it into HomeKit natively. Right. So you've got that as one option if you wanted to go the Nest route, but you do need the hub. Otherwise, I really, really like the Netatmo one, but it is more expensive. But I think it has more features than the Logitech one, and we haven't had issues of overheating yet. If it's in like direct sun, I would basically I wouldn't say don't get the Logitech one, but if it's in direct sun, don't. If you've got shade and everything like that, then you're fine. Like, don't get it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great doorbell. But if you're worried about it sitting like directly in the sun, like your house doesn't have like a hat on the front of it and it's just in sunlight for 10 hours a day, maybe don't.
You said if your house doesn't have a hat. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, like my face has got like a hat, covers it, protects me from the sun. Yeah, like a little hat for your house.
So this is now only because we do video now, but like I wore a mask like just now, and so I feel like my beard is shaped weird. So anyway, viewers, please don't judge my beard. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's go to the next piece of news. I'm trying to grow it out. I'm going for like the Viking look. So
the Viking look. Well, you're gonna need more horns. because you're very low on horns.
Yes, I do. And more axes. I think I need an axe and a ship. Anyway, okay. So this next piece of news made me mad, Andrew, because Linksys stinking brought HomeKit to another one of their Velop routers. This is the AX4200 Wi-Fi 6 mesh router. There's a firmware update, enables HomeKit, but still, my MX5400 model, which is, I believe, a line above or a couple lines above this model, still does not have HomeKit. I checked in the app. I looked for the firmware update to no avail. Linksys, why are you doing this to me? Please bring HomeKit to it. That's all I have to say.
They're going to do it eventually.
I don't believe
certain.
It. I doubt it.
This has always been this has been a weird thing with Linksys, where features come to the lower one. Like a lot of times, we see features come to the high end ones first, and then roll out to the cheaper models. But in Linksys' case, they roll out, which kind of makes sense because you're getting it to the most users possible. If they're trying to prioritize their HomeKit support, are they going to go for the more affordable one that a lot of people own, or the really expensive one that a much smaller number of people own? They're trying to get it out as fast as possible to as many people as possible. So I can see why they go with the AX4200. I know it. I know it, Stephen.
Well, anyway.
I got the MX ones here too, but...
Okay. Hopefully soon. This feels like, this could be wrong, feels like the slowest rollout of a software update ever. This feels like, and I'm no shade, Linksys, because I like your routers. This feels like when you used to have an Android phone and you were waiting for that new version of Android to come to your Samsung phone, and you know it is not going to come in the next year and a half. You have to wait 2 years.
What shade?
That's what this feels
harsh.
like. That's what this feels like. Anyway, maybe that was a little too harsh. I'm sorry, Linksys. Please bring it to the MX line. Thank you. Please and thank you. Okay. So the next piece of news, this is Toshiba and Insignia TVs, two of their Fire model TVs. I saw this in the headline of Fire TVs, and I was like, are these on fire sale? Are these on literal fire? No, this is Amazon Fire enabled televisions. It is a Toshiba, the 4K UHD Dolby Vision model. I don't have the exact model. And then a Insignia 4K UHD smart TV that they are bringing HomeKit and AirPlay 2 built into these TVs, or at least with a software update, it seems like, because these were the 2020 models. So if you have one of those TVs, look for an update. You should have AirPlay 2 and HomeKit capability now. There you go.
Are you starting to get, in your home, just a ridiculous number of AirPlay 2 options now? Because I am. I'm looking, I was trying to connect my AirPods, and there's 30 things between HomePods, TVs, Apple TVs, Mac now will show in there because it can be an AirPlay 2 receiver. It's a lot of items.
It is a little annoying, and I had a shortcut for this, and I stopped using it, but I think I might have to go back to using a shortcut to set a playback device rather than the AirPlay 2 menu. Because one, I feel like the shortcut responds faster. And two, when you just have a crazy long list, it's well, is this the living room HomePod? Is it the living room Apple TV? Or is it the living room TV? And you could, some of the icons help you distinguish it a little bit, but it is kind of annoying just to have this long scrolling list of things. So I don't know. We'll see. Do you use a shortcut for that?
By the way,
do you use a shortcut at all for setting playback for AirPlay devices? No, not yet. I'm just curious.
It's too random for me. I don't have a consistent one that I use. So it's not something that I really do too much. I mean, I AirPlay specific speakers, to my Sonos or something like that when I go outside, but I just tap it when I go.
You could set up a fancy shortcut that has a menu where your top 3 to 5 speakers, you can run the shortcut and it'll say, where would you like to play back to? And, and you select one of the options and then plays. I don't know. I haven't done it either, but just throwing it out there. Possibility.
Anyway, minor tangent here. I have 2 things with HomePod Mini, one good and one bad. First, the good. I've been loving the ability with tvOS 15 and the HomePod beta to set your HomePod Mini as that default output. And I never thought I would, but I have a setup in our bedroom where I've got a projector and Anchor, the Nebula Capsule 2 projector. It's the R2D2 one, which is fantastic. And you can read the review. That's up. But I got this projector going and I have an Apple TV connected to it, because I refuse to use the Android TV interface because it's awful. And I have my Apple TV going there, but the capsule speakers aren't the best. And I'm like, I want like surround speaker. Yeah. So I hooked it up to, I kept AirPlaying it to my Air. Oh, also I couldn't control the volume through the Apple TV remote because there's no IR blaster on the back of the thing. So you couldn't learn the remote because the remote uses like Bluetooth to connect. So I couldn't control the volume through the capsule. So I really needed to connect it to something else for audio. So I connected it to my HomePod Mini in the bedroom. And I already want to get a second one for in there so that I have like actual stereo on either side of the bed. But I really, really like being able to set it as like that default audio every time. So it's turned on and it's connected. So that's great. Bad side, something is flipping wrong with my studio HomePod Mini. And like every day, it's like, hey, I can't tell if you're signed into your account.
What?
Check in the Home app. And I'll go into the Home app and it's like, put in your Apple ID again, sir. I'm like, why are you asking me to put in my Apple? Like, nothing changed. You're a speaker. You're a speaker. Why do you need my Apple ID credentials like on a daily basis? Weird. And today it happened twice. I walk into my studio carrying my coffee and iPads, and I'm like, yo, Siri, it's a work day, and thinking she's going to set my blinds, turn on my lights, all the shenanigans for me. And what does she do? She's like, I can't tell if you're signed in. I'm like,
what? That's messed up, bro.
Why do you keep doing that? So I don't know. And it is on the beta, but I've had this issue before the beta, so it's not like a new beta issue. It just keeps happening, and I don't understand it. And it's frustrating me almost as much as my regular HomePod that randomly asks me to confirm any secure request for the door lock, whereas none of my other HomePods do that. And all the settings are the same.
See,
there's weird stuff going on here.
These are the times when people talk about how much better Alexa is than the HomePods. Like, it's hard to argue because I mean this kind of stuff. Like I still have one Alexa. I have one Alexa, and it's set up because one of my kids likes to play Jeopardy on it, and you can't play Jeopardy on a HomePod. You have to do it on an Alexa. And I will say, the Alexa doesn't have those kinds of issues. I mean, you might get your identity stolen, but no, that probably won't happen.
Yeah, and wait for your network or something to go down, and like all of the millions of other things that are wrong with Alexa. Like it has those things. I want the whisper thing. I want to be able to whisper to Siri on the HomePod and have her whisper back. I like that one.
Yes,
that one was a good Alexa feature. Oh, dang it!
What? Oh.
My Alexa's
talking to you. So you still have an Alexa there too, right?
What about that? What about that opposite there? Because I can say the word Siri and nothing happens, but I say that stupid assistant's name, and she's like yapping all over the place.
Hey, Dingus. That's I think.
No, I don't have to. I can just say Siri and nothing happens. But if you say Amazon's assistant's name, she starts chirping at you or saying, "Oh, you're not signed in."
You don't
like. I don't want to be signed in, and I can't turn you off.
You don't get false positives with Siri? Because sometimes I will say, really?
Never.
Because sometimes I will say Siri or I'll say some other random word with an S in it. And I like it's not consistent, but sometimes it'll be my phone that like I'll see a little Siri thing pop up at the bottom of my phone and that's it. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm saying, but maybe it's how I say sassafras, snagabrass. I don't know. Nope, it didn't turn on. Not that words. I don't know what it is that I normally say. I'll have to keep track of that next time. Anyway. Okay, more HomeKit news. Let's see what else is going on. Legrand, which is a new brand. It's not a new brand, but Legrand is a brand of smart home devices. They are bringing some light switches that have Zigbee enabled rather than just Wi-Fi. It does require a Zigbee hub, but if you're in one of these like Zigbee homes and you're really more customizing your deal there rather than like a single brand of things, those are pretty interesting. It's going to be called the hub will be called Smart Gateway with Netatmo, so it's some kind of partnership with Netatmo and Legrand. But
Legrand owns Netatmo.
Oh, okay, there we go. Thank you for that. And let's see now, pronunciation police. Legrand.
I don't know. It's like French. That's what it sounds like to me.
The race?
Legrand.
Le Mans? Yeah.
Legrand sounds very Americanized.
We'll go with Legrand. I like that.
Yeah, so Legrand is what I would use. Because we can pronounce things on this show.
We can pronounce them all sorts of ways.
This is the pronunciation show.
That's right. Side note, have you ever seen those YouTube channels where it has like mispronunciations of words, but they're like really funny, like on purpose mispronunciations. I'll send you a link. It's pretty funny. They say like, never mind. I won't do it. It's not gonna be as funny when I do it. I'll just send you a link. Okay, so that's the Legrand lights. And the last piece of news.
We don't have to do a French accent.
Ratatouille. Anyway.
Oh
yeah.
Well,
okay.
Next
and final piece of news here. Yeelight, Yee Light. They're updating to a Pro Bluetooth mesh hub. I have no Yeelights, but I know you looked at some of these, or we had a listener recommend these for one of your light fixtures because they have like differently shaped and like socketed bulbs and stuff. They have the M20 bulb and all that. They also have a light strip, S20 light strip. And so that stuff will be coming, soon, near future. I'll put the link in the description. Yeelight. Not to be confused with Yeezy. Nothing? No? Okay. Just checking. The listeners appreciated that one. Okay.
Did they, though? Did they?
Yes.
Home Kitties. Tell them no.
So, let's do the follow-up. Let's do the follow-up from last episode. We had said and asked you, the HomeKit Horde. I'm going to use mine until we finally land on one. But we asked you guys.
We landed on Home
What
Kitties,
should we call you guys, our listeners, the army of HomeKit Insider listeners? And we got some suggestions. Chris on Twitter, he suggested like homies, like home is, I think is what he means. Is that what he means? Homies?
I get. We also, Amber said that on our team too. We were talking about it in Slack, and she's like, "Is it?" We just talked about it. She's like, "Is it HomeKit Homies? Is that what you guys voted?"
Yeah, maybe HomeKit Homies. There's also Hannah, who we had given a shout out on the last show, but I can't talk of her anymore because she sided with you. She was in favor of the Home Kitties. Is that what she was in favor of? Home Kitties?
Yeah, she was. Of course she was. Everyone is in favor of Home Kitties.
Listen.
I can't tell you. I got hundreds of emails, Steven, all voting for Home Kitties.
Really?
Hundreds.
No, you're making that. You're totally making it up.
Hundreds.
Now,
hundreds. I can't stop. 5 more just came in while you recorded. All voting for Home Kitties.
David on Twitter also said HomeKit Homies. So you got Home Kitties, Homies, HomeKit Homies. No one liked HomeKit Horde. I really thought that alliteration was going to get people. I thought it had like a little bit Game of Thrones vibes. You know, you're talking about like
Home
Horde.
Kitties was just too good. So
listeners, we'll do this one more week. I need you to come and tweet
to vote for
mention
Home
me
Kitties.
and Andrew so he can't
Home
deny
Kitties.
that you
and say Home Kitties.
HomeKit Horde. Or listen,
Kitties.
we're up for original.
Where the cats meow.
Original naming.
Top cat.
We're suggest an original name. We're totally for it. You could do the HomeKit Avengers. I don't know how to put that all there. It's like a HomeKit Infinity War. I don't know what I'm saying now. This is why we need you, HomeKit Horde, HomeKit listeners. Please send in your recommendations. Tweet at both Andrew and I. Don't let it be Home Kitties, please. No, please no.
Absolutely.
I don't want to see that trending one day. Home Kitties. Anyway, we have another part of our note here where it says personal projects, to which I was actually away for a few days with family on a mini vacation. I tested the waterproof ability of my iPhone 12 Pro in a pool, and I shocked many people on Twitter. I dipped it, and I start the video recording, submerged the phone underwater, and actually came out pretty good. I'll put a link to that tweet, but yeah, it can film underwater, and it's survived. My phone is still working as we speak. But anyway, so I tried that. But other than that, I got nothing. I haven't installed anything recently. I haven't looked at anything recently. But I don't know. What about you, Andrew? You got anything going on?
I mean, I already complained about my two things. Well, complained about one thing, loved the other thing with the HomePods. Right. Other than that, we've been working a lot on this chicken coop situation going on. We got some roof up. Yeah, so we're getting close to where I got to figure out things. I want to make sure I can get a light on there at some point, and the door, the smart door. And I still am not 100% on how I'm going to do it.
Right.
It's far enough away that anything's not going to work over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So I don't know if I need to set up like an infrared system, because I do have a line of sight where I could control something with an IR blaster, if the IR blaster would go that far. I don't know. So I have some experimenting to do. For some reason, there's not a HomeKit category for chicken coop doors. I was shocked. I checked.
Check Apple's website one more time.
I checked.
Chicken.
Yep. If you want to double check for me, that'd be swell. But there was nothing listed for chicken coop doors. So it looks like I'm on my own trying to figure this one out.
If our listeners don't know, this is a side tip, not HomeKit related, but this is how to search the internet related. If you want to search a website for any particular search term, but you just want to search that website, you can, in the Google search browser, in google.com or in your whatever, you search the word. I searched chicken coop, 2 words, and then you type site, S-I-T-E, colon, and then the site name, which I did apple.com, and it will search all of apple.com, even pages that are not linked directly, for that search term. And then the search results...
And you found one?
Well, here's the thing. there's no direct page, but here are some of the results that I found searching Apple's website for chicken coop. There's chicken coop fraction games on the App Store. I don't know what that is, but I'll put a link to it in show notes, of course, so you can enjoy that. Chicken coop fraction games. It's some kind of math educational game, so that's interesting. Let me paste that right in the note. And then farther down in the search results, we have how to build your own chicken coop, a short e-guide. That's on books.apple.com. Only $1.99 if you want to get it on Apple Books. I'll put a link to that as well. All these chicken coop people are going to be wondering, like, why did we get 10 purchases of our e-guide for building a chicken coop? Then this one, I'm very excited to see where this link leads. Chicken coop on Apple Podcasts. This is a chicken coop show. Let's see, they released a pilot episode on March 25th of this year. The title of the podcast is called Chicken Coop. I have no idea what that's about or what it is, but of course, I will put a link in show notes. So there you go. And finally, we have Chicken Coop's Beginner's Guide to Planning and Building. And yeah, those are pretty much the top results.
So no HomeKit.
No. Oh, now there's an
enabled.
Apple Music link here to the Chicken Coop Blues.
Well,
parentheses.
No. Well, maybe that's what I need to be singing
Cigar
right
Box
now.
Guitar remix. Oh my word.
Oh my
So anyway, I'll put all these Chicken Coop links in the show notes. But anyway, that's a helpful tip: how to search Google if you want to search a specific site. That's it. Okay. Anyway, let's go on. We got listener questions here we can answer, Andrew, from our HomeKit horde. Looking directly in the camera.
From the HomeKit.
Anyway, okay. This is Bill T on Twitter. They were asking, are there motion sensors available to make exterior lights smart? Now, I actually went back and forth with Bill on Twitter, and he does not have new lights outside. He's actually going to put lights outside, but he's looking for that motion sensor. We've mentioned this one before. Andrew mentions it. I think you actually have it. It's the Phillips motion sensor for exterior use. Do you have one of these? Yeah, you do.
Yep.
Yes.
Sure do. I use this. I got it mounted on my steps when we go up and down the stairs. It'll turn on and off. It's the only outdoor HomeKit motion sensor that I know of. Of course, it requires you to have the Philips Hue bridge to enable that HomeKit functionality. The only other option is relying on any camera. So if you had any camera, you got an Arlo camera out there, you got a doorbell camera, anything like that, those can report back their motion as well. But I think that's all you got.
And so Bill said he actually already has some Philips Hue lights, and he has the hub already, so this was kind of a no-brainer. Definitely go with the Hue exterior motion sensor. Now, Tony Smith, they sent a message. I think they emailed me or tweeted me. I forget which it is, but during our whole contact sensor saga about how to get a notification if a door is left open, I won't bemoan all that. You can listen to the last 3 episodes. But he did say that if you use the Aqara contact sensor, this is not in the Home app, but you can actually, in the Aqara app, set a time where if a door is left open for a certain amount of time, that the Aqara app can send you a notification for that. So again, it's not a HomeKit notification. It's not on the Home app, but you can do it in the Aqara app directly. So it's a good tip. Thank you, Tony, if you have those contact sensors.
He emailed me, actually. It was right below voting for Home Kitties. Yeah,
maybe that's why I didn't include it.
Home Kitties, by the way.
Yeah, sure.
Contact sensors.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, now this is John. He emailed us. He has the Eufy indoor cams, which if you use the Eufy app, you get 2K resolution. But as we know, HomeKit Secure Video up until this point has only been up to 1080p resolution. He was wondering if in iOS 15, if that increases. Now, Andrew, you're running all the betas everywhere. Does it look like we might be getting 2K or higher support for HomeKit Secure Video?
Nothing that I've seen yet has pointed to higher resolution, unfortunately. Yeah. I wouldn't count this out at some point. I mean, Apple has been focusing on HomeKit Secure Video. Hopefully their machine learning is getting better in their detection of objects and people. We're getting package detection with iOS 15. And Apple is allowing unlimited streams or recording, unlimited cameras with iOS 15. But I've not seen anything pointing to higher resolution recording.
Okay, that's unfortunate. Maybe it'll be in that iCloud Plus plan. If you know what I mean. Thank you, Andrew. If you're
welcome. I got you. There's a point.
This is a reminder, listener, if you don't know yet, you should subscribe to the HomeKit Insider YouTube channel, and you could see Andrew not laughing at my jokes. And that's gold content right there. Nothing. Stone face. It's all good. It's all good. All right. This last message is from Noah. This looks like an email. They were saying Leviton's Decora switches allow for 4-way application. So last week we had a question from a listener asking, are there any 4-way HomeKit switches? And Noah is saying the Leviton ones, there's a main switch and 2 companion switches to complete the setup. And the third location is wired differently, making it a 4-way. Noah's had them installed in 2 different applications in the home for about 2 years, and they work great this way. Now, again, I'm not exactly sure the application that last week's listener question was looking for, but Leviton Decora seems like it might be an option. Do you have any other thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I think I got another email, and I apologize to whoever sent this. It's sometimes hard to keep track of like the emails, other than the fact there's so many voting for Home Kitties that if there's not like the word like HomeKitten or something, I can't like search it. So if I like get it and I don't add it to like the note right away, then sometimes these get lost. So I'm sorry whoever sent this to me or tweeted me or messaged me or commented on the video, which is also a thing that I need to check now because there were several comments on last week's video. But someone basically said that in like a 3-way setup, it's a normal like or in a 4-way setup or more, it's a 3-way setup and there's one like 4-way switch. So if you swap out any of the other 3-way switches, you can use any 3-way switch and it'll work in a 4-way setup. Mm-hmm. So like I think they talked about Lutron would work in some of these situations, and basically you should be able to take any 3-way supported switch and put it into a 4-way setup because you only have to replace one of them to make the entire circuit smart, just like you would in a 3-way setup. So apparently that's a thing. If you have a 4-way or a 5-way setup perhaps, as long as you're swapping out the correct one, you should be able to use a 3-way switch in that situation and add HomeKit control to that entire setup.
Gotcha. Okay. So I think to organize our future HomeKit Insider questions, Andrew, what do you think? This is different than the name HomeKit Horde or Home Ease. But what do you think about we settle on a hashtag? Like we could do hashtag HomeKit Insider on Twitter, or I've seen other podcasts do this like ask and then like a little abbreviation, and you got HomeKit Insider, HKI. What do you think about hashtag ask HKI? And I just looked on Twitter. The last time anyone has used that hashtag was 2014. And so I feel like it is a open hashtag ripe for the picking. I don't know. What do you think, Andrew? Ask HKI? Should we do something like that?
We can try. I don't think it's going to catch on because we were telling people to use hashtag HomeKit Insider and people still just add us without including any hashtag. True. So making up another hashtag or a couple hashtags of Ask HKI, HKI, HomeKit Insider. I feel like it's just, I don't know, I just see the ats and then need to make sure I can go through all of my massive number of Twitter mentions and messages and try to pull stuff out. I forget I said anything.
What you should do, listener, is still mention Andrew and myself. We look at those mentions, and like that's where I go like before we record just to see like what were the questions, what were the Home Kitties name suggestions. You know, I do all of that right here on Twitter, and so you should do that. You should tweet at both Andrew and myself. Our Twitter handles are in the show notes. Andrew, it's a little bit of a shorter episode today, but I feel like, I don't know. Why don't you tell me, you have all the new Beta 3s on your devices. Was there anything home-related that came up in those betas?
Yeah, surprisingly there was. I believe we have 2 home-related dealios going on. So the first up is, I didn't have this alert, but I saw someone told me about it. You can now dismiss that adaptive lighting prompt in the Home app. Okay. So if there's lights that you don't want to enable that on, you would always have that. You can set up adaptive light. You can set up adaptive lighting. It was always there. It can now be dismissed, so it's not sitting at the top of your Home app every time. The other change is, and I'm still trying to work out the details here on what needs to happen to enable it, but we have lossless streaming coming to the HomePods. There was some confusion where it was reported that it came out in like the beta 3 of the HomePod software update for 15, but for here, that was not the case. It did not stream in lossless. But once I got the 3rd beta of iOS 15 on my iPhone, then it worked. You could stream lossless audio to your HomePod and HomePod Mini as long as you have the latest beta of HomePod update and the latest beta of iOS 15. And you can stream lossless audio. I have heard, though, that it is not that far removed from what they were already doing. Like, it's technically the lossless file now, but users may not hear much of a difference at all. But it can at least be done. So you're at least getting the highest quality possible from the audio that you're listening to on your HomePod or HomePod Minis.
Very cool. Well, listeners, keep your eye out on the Apple Insider YouTube channel. Andrew's been doing all the videos, updating on the betas and everything like that. And subscribe to the HomeKit Insider YouTube channel. You get this episode and the past couple episodes there in video and future ones. So subscribe there. And again, tweet at Andrew. Oh, yeah.
By the way, Steven, since we're talking about the video stuff, I just forgot this. I had a couple people requesting that I do a video on the whole smart NFC stuff going on. And I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do a video soon on, like, we did one video already on how to use NFC, but I'm going to talk a little bit more just about the chips that I use and embedding them into things, and like how you could turn like your picture frames or a Lego model or a wooden box into something smart you can run automations from. So I will have a video on that. Will it be up by the time that you guys are listening to this episode? Maybe not. But if you're subscribed and with your notifications on to both those HomeKit Insider and Apple Insider, then you will not miss it. So just do that. It'll be
awesome. Fun. So subscribe to those. You'll find links to those YouTube channels in the show notes, to Andrew and myself's Twitter handles in the show notes, plus all the links to everything we talked about. And if you haven't yet, we would greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and review in Apple Podcasts. And send us your questions, your projects. Tell us what you got going on. And we love getting your questions and interacting with all those. And as always, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
And if you know how to make a chicken coop smart with HomeKit, let us
Hit
know.
up Andrew. Exactly.
It would help.